I'm going to talk about the #1 health risk that faces us all in the world today, about how we believe that real food technology solutions mitigates this risk, about how we can touch the lives of the most vulnerable children on earth with this technology, and how all of this can play an important role in your life. You know, when I go around and I ask audiences around the country, what do you think the #1 health risk in the world is? I get answers like, you know, some plague, some disease, some natural disaster. But actually, the #1 health risk in the world is called undernutrition. It impacts the lives of more people than anything else. In fact, in its most acute form in developing nations, it's called malnutrition. And malnutrition is the #1 killer of children in the world. Over 5 million children die every year from the acute forms of malnutrition. And so how do we deal with that problem? Well, through relief organizations, we send hundreds of thousands of tons of enriched grain-based cereals to deal with the problem. In fact, in 2006 alone, charities supplied over 450,000 tons of enriched grain-based cereals to address this situation. You know, the question is, how's that working for us? Well, according to major relief organizations, not very well. Because what we found is that fortified blended cereals do not even meet the new minimal nutritional needs of the world's most vulnerable children. The organization Doctors Without Borders has even put out a new campaign called Food is Not Enough. And what they've done is they've called on industry to help fight this problem with new technologies. And the two technologies they've asked for is #1, nutritionally dense and ready-to-use nutritional products. In other words, food products that have the full complement of essential nutrients in their most natural form. #2, develop a new nutritional product that is complementary to standard of care medical treatment, because a lot of these children are already at risk health-wise, and they need new technologies that can help support their immune systems. But you know what we found out? Those two products actually serve the needs of people in every country on the planet, because everybody has those same basic needs in their lives. So what am I talking about? Well, take a look at this picture. What do you think these two children have in common? Actually, they could both be dramatically undernourished. Obviously, the child on the left is probably suffering from the most acute form of malnutrition, which is obvious by the fact that their bodies are wasting away. Obviously, this child is getting too little of the right kind of food. What about the child on the right? He could be undernourished and suffer the same devastating consequences of undernourishment, and obviously he appears to be getting too much of the wrong kind of food to support his body. So how much of the wrong kind of food do our kids, do our families get? In this book called The Fast Food Nation, it defines how bad of a problem it is in this country. About 90% of the money that Americans spend on food is used today to buy processed food. I love this quote from highly acclaimed journalist Michael Pollan in the documentary Food, Inc. He said, "A lot of what we see in the supermarket, I would argue, is not really food. It's what I call edible food-like substances." He says, of course, the solution is to eat real food. Well, what does he mean by real food? Well, take a look at this picture. Which one of these bowls of fruit do you think offers the most nutritional value? Actually, the bowl on the left is real food, real fruit. The bowl on the right is fruit-flavored cereal. Actually, what that is enriched grain-based cereal. Sound familiar? That's exactly what is not supporting the kids in most dire need. Now, the only difference is we take our enriched grain-based cereal and we add artificial coloring so that it looks like fruit. We add artificial flavoring so that it tastes like fruit. And of course, we add a lot of sugar so it becomes addicting. But you know, even when we try to eat the right fruits and vegetables, we're finding that it's harder and harder to get adequate nutritional support. Part of that is because modern farming techniques that are all designed to grow fruits and vegetables larger and faster come with a consequence, and that consequence is a depletion in the essential nutrients that are necessary to keep us healthy. And actually, the United States Department of Agriculture tracks the amount of fruits and vegetables that are needed to keep us healthy and makes those recommendations to the public. For instance, in 1995, the recommended servings of fruits and vegetables per day for adults was 5 to 7. Look what's happened today. The recommended daily servings has changed to 7 to 13 for adults, depending upon your gender and size. And look at this, a teenage boy now requires 9 servings a day. Now here's the question, is anybody doing that? According to national surveys, most of us aren't. And so what is the consequence of not receiving enough of the basic nutrition to keep us healthy? Well, it's called poor health. In fact, the World Health Organization in their 2000 report ranks the United States today 72nd out of 191 countries in terms of level of health of population. Time magazine in their cover article entitled "The Sorry State of American Health" put it this way. They said, despite advances in medicine, Americans are less healthy than we used to be, and the next generation may be even worse off. Well, how could you get worse off than we are today? Well, according to a 2005 study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, it says for the first time in over 100 years, the life expectancy of our children might actually decline. And of course, their quality of life will suffer too. And folks, that's called legacy. That is what we're handing down to our children, a poor quality of life. You know, even the Journal of the American Medical Association in a June 2002 article said, most people do not consume an optimal amount of vitamins through diet alone. You know, it now appears prudent to take a vitamin mineral supplement. Okay, everything I've shared with you up to this point, you might have heard bits and pieces of. But here's information that you might not be aware of. In order to get standardized nutritional support of the vitamins and minerals that are necessary to keep you healthy, there's only 2 sources. Those that are synthetically made in a chemical factory and those that come from food. And every time I ask people to pick one of those, of course, everybody picks food, but here's what's interesting about that. Synthetic vitamin business is a $50 billion industry in the world today because most people don't know what a synthetic vitamin is or where it comes from. So where do they come from? Well, we synthesize vitamins from petroleum or coal tar. And unfortunately, that is not food. What about minerals? Minerals are generally recovered by mining ores. In other words, we dig them out of the ground, small rocks, or from byproducts of chemical processes, the same chemical factories we were talking about before. These are called inorganic minerals, small rocks. And it doesn't matter how small you grind them up for supplementation. Here's what tests have shown, that these inorganic minerals contained in our most popular brands of multivitamins do not dissolve in either the stomach or the intestine. In other words, they're not soluble, which means they probably pass right through the body without being absorbed. So what's the difference in that than what we eat in food? Well, here's what a plant does. A plant uptakes minerals through their root systems, pre-digests them, and bonds them into a food matrix. And that provides maximum solubility, and that is the way our bodies were designed to receive nutrition.